Hey guys, Greg Christensen here, Grandview Livestock. Yeah, it's a pretty rainy day out today. It's been raining all day today, most of the day yesterday, and all day the day before. We've had probably 5 inches, rain harder at times than others. But it's a sloppy, wet mess out there, and I don't know what we're going to find. Tomorrow morning we go out to feed things and try to get around the pastures. Is going to be difficult. What I wanted to show you today is a calendar year of raising goats, just the way we do it. Now you might change your dates. You might have different reason for kidding at a certain date than we do, but I'm just going to show you what we do, and you can tweak it to make it fit your management. Okay, so what I'd like to do here is just start out on our kidding date, because that's pretty much a non-negotiable. We've just found over the years, I kid 1st of May. I used to kid middle of March, then went to the end of March, then went to April, then went to middle of April, then went to end of April. You can just get cold, rainy weather there in April that is not conducive to good kid health, if you want to just put it bluntly. And you're going to lose more kids when that happens, and it's more labor intensive when you get bad weather. So, hey, we just backed up to May, and that seems to work the best. We've done that for a few years now, and just a lot less labor intensive, a lot less worrying about them. So we're going to kid on May 1st. We're going to start, and all the pastures aren't going to start at the same time. We stagger our bucks in. Actually have one pasture might kid say the last week of April, and just a few animals there. Could be sheep, could be goats. So probably kid. We would kid our sheep. If anything's going to kid early, it's going to be the sheep. They can take it better. So let's just say you're kidding or lambing in May 1st. You could, you might have a reason to do it in January or February if you're raising 4-H kids or whatever. But hey, just for your basic pasture operations, May 1st is going to make it easier on yourself. Okay, so let's say May 1st. So we're going to back up from May 1st, and we're going to look at March, because we want to start vaccinating those does about 6 weeks before they kid. 6 to 8 weeks actually, anywhere in there. So here in probably maybe this week, or at least by next, here this 3rd week of March, we're going to start vaccinating the does and ewes. We're going to vaccinate them with a product called Endovac. It helps against pneumonia, and your CD&T. We use vaccinate, but you can use any of the good ones. And that way the does and the ewes are going to start putting that in their colostrum. They're making colostrum during this time, so you don't want to wait till they're just getting ready to kid, a couple of weeks. That's going to be a little too late. You don't want to be out too soon, too early. So the research shows probably 6 to 8 weeks. If you did it 10 weeks, you'd probably still be okay. If you did it at 4 weeks, it may still be okay. All right. So then that means about the 1st of March here, we're going to start increasing their nutrition, because that's the last trimester. Those ewes and does or those kids and lambs are putting on a lot of weight inside those ewes and does. They're taking up gut space that they can't eat as much. They can't physically eat as much feed during that time. And so you want the feed that they eat to be of higher quality. So that's when we start putting out the protein tubs, or feeding some extra protein some way. It really doesn't matter how you want to do it. If you can do it by hand, that's probably the cheapest and maybe the best. But for us, we use the protein tubs on almost every pasture. Maybe some here at home we could feed by hand every day or two. And you want to be feeding your your better quality hay. Okay. All right, so that's going to be what you're going to be doing for those does and ewes. You're going to be kidding and lambing in May. Now June, you're going to be doing some pasture rotation, be checking them. We won't really have a plan of getting anybody up until about first week of July. First week of July, if they're kidding in May, that first week, 2 weeks there, you should probably be getting them up and castrating the buck kids. Because if you don't, there's some of those that's going to start breeding their moms here in the middle of July. They start getting shorter July 21st. But I'll tell you what, if you start having Christmas kids, that's because they were breeding somebody on the July 25th. Say, and I've had kids on Christmas. You might have too. You don't want that. You don't want kids in January. You don't want kids in February. I mean, not if you're just a basic commercial operation. So you're going to want to get them up, castrate the kids, go ahead and vaccinate them while you're doing it. Use the Endovac. I use 1 cc of Endovac beef, and I use the CD&T vaccinate. 2 cc dose, I think, is what we use on those kids. And just take care of those. Be careful, don't miss anybody, because he'll go to breeding on you. And you're gonna rock along here, maybe in September. Now you can leave those castrated kids on pretty much as long as you want. If you got good forage where they're at and they can grow good and everything, they can stay on their moms. They can stay on their moms up until they take them off to the sale. We had some groups like that this year. But for the most part, we're going to start weaning them and bringing them home. And that's going to save our forage for our nanny herd and our ewe herd. And that forage will take them on into the winter longer, so we don't have to feed hay. And we can bring those kids home. We have good forage growing up here at home that they can go out on, and they can gain faster and better. It's better nutrition. And then we can start feeding them, out of those feeders that you've seen us use. We can start getting them to gain better weight. And we may not turn them on the feeders depending on the nutritional quality of our forage. We may not put any feed in the feeders till, it could be October, first part of November. But we'll start getting them on feed probably middle of October. Okay? Alright, so that's going to rock you on through here. October, November. Well, then December 1st, maybe some a few days before though, and some a few days after, we're going to start putting the bucks and the rams out again. See, for the next kid crop, because those, say, approximately 5 months, going to put you at May 1st. And so, we'll maybe put them out one pasture here on November 28th, and we'll wait 2, 3, 4 days. Put a buck in it here at, on the 2nd, and then maybe some on the 4th. So if we would hit a May storm or something, everybody's not kidding. They're at the same time, just in the heart of kidding season. And it'll make life easier on you and just checking everybody after a bad storm rolls through. Okay? But now, so we got your kids that we weaned, and they're still on feed, and they're on feed, and it's coming up into January. So you've weaned them whenever, say it was September, started them on feed, say 1st of November. Now, January, and where we sell in St. Joe, Missouri, the sale is the 2nd Thursday of the month. So I'm just put on my calendar, 2nd Thursday of January 2022. I mean, we sold 2nd Thursday of 21. So next year will be 2nd Thursday of 22. We're going to start selling some kids, and we're going to weigh them up, and we're going to find the ones that's heavy enough to go to the market. The rest of them we're going to feed for a while. And you've got the 2nd Thursday of February, and it would be 2022 at that time. We're gonna maybe sell some more kids, lambs, whatever's the right weight. The right weight for your lambs is probably going to be 75, maybe 80 pounds, and that range is a really nice weight if you get them right in there. And the right weight for your goat kids is probably going to be, I mean, if you had them 70 pounds in January, it's probably not too heavy. You're still going to make money. They may not sell for as high per pound, but they're still worth feeding on up to that weight, you see. If you start getting them over that, the price per pound tapers off fast enough that it's probably not worth feeding them on up to 80 pounds, even maybe 75, 80 or something. So if you get them 55, 60 pounds, January, February, March, there it is, second Thursday of March, I'm just putting on my calendar. You know, if we have any kids left, that's when they're selling. They're getting out of here because we don't want to keep them around because most generally after Easter, so this year Easter's on the first Sunday in April, that market's going to start tapering off a little bit. It won't just crash, but it'll go down, and it'll get a little lower, and a little lower, and a little lower, and all summer long is usually the lowest part, and then come into fall, maybe October, gets up a little higher, November, December's higher, January's higher. January, February, March, it's kind of a toss-up. Any one of those months could be the high of those three, but they're normally going to be your best months to sell. So that's going to kind of get your planning for your whole year, what you need to do. Now, if you ask me, when do we get them up to worm them? We check them for worms. We check the kids, we check the nannies or the ewes. Anytime we have them up for any reason, let's say it's July, we've got them up to castrate, and we're going to vaccinate those kids. We're going to go ahead, we're going to check all their eyelids, nannies, kids, lambs, ewes, anything. We're going to check their eyelids, we're going to worm who needs it. We're going to leave our rams and bucks in with the nannies and the ewes probably until we're vaccinating here this month. We'll start taking them out. We'll put them on one pasture. So during this time frame, this third week of March now coming up, and we're vaccinating the ewes and does. We're going to start taking those bucks and rams out of there, and we'll just have them somewhere else. We don't need to be worried with them. So there you have it, guys. That's kind of your yearly goat calendar in a nutshell. In case you didn't notice, this was the goat calendar that I had for sale earlier this year. Some of you might have got it. That's what we use. I make these every year. I'll have them available again next year if you like. But I hope that helps you in planning out. I mean, you can just go ahead. You can order your vaccine. You know how many you're going to do. Hey, you can just have all your planning done and figure out when you're going to sell, and weigh them up and get them out of there. So hey guys, it's a rainy afternoon here on a Sunday afternoon, but hope this was informative to you. Have a good day.